is sensational for Cincinnati. Mitch Hildebrand, the hero, and the underdogs have prevailed once again.
I would like to present the USL Regular Season Championship to FC Cincinnati. Congratulations to the players, the staff, and most importantly, the fans on a record-breaking season. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your regular season champions, FC Cincinnati.
In a foot race, Cincinnati plays this across. Vasquez with the finish. Brandon Vasquez gives Cincinnati the 2-1 lead. A late breakdown by Red Bull.
Well, Dylan Nealis gets beaten, and nobody covers the streaking run. Unbelievable.
L'Oreal got under that. Oh! What a goal for FC Cincinnati! You couldn't dream that any better. Goal of the tournament. Maybe the history of the tournament. Alvaro Barreal makes it 2-0.
Acosta beats one man one-on-one and another. This is still Lucho Acosta continuing on. Acosta! Oh my goodness! A play worthy of a perfect 10 by Cincinnati's number 10.
Unbelievable. He's like a kid in a playground. He just picked the ball up and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to pick it up at the halfway line and I'm going to go all the way on my own. And you're thinking to yourself, release the ball now, release the ball now. He decides, no, I'm not having that. I'm going to have the goal instead. And I'm probably going to get the goal of the season as well.
Valerian looks to deliver, flick towards the far post, and it's off the line! What a save! That's a match-winning save.
He thinks that he's found the equalizer yet again, but Celentano just stays big and makes a massive, massive save.
They have done it. Cincinnati, your 2023 Supporters Shield winners. A first trophy in their MLS era, and now they celebrate. Top of the Supporters Shield race since May. They never look back.
The Flying Lion says,
boys, hell is real.
2023 Supporter Shield champs.
So glad that I can be back with people who know that it's a Flying Lion.
It shows how much we all love this club.
Yeah, just a fan of the sport, you know.
It's definitely tougher to be in a cash player than it is a pro.
In this club, you don't play just for the club, you play for the ball.
Please swap. Car of the week, trivia question of the week.
The Flying Lion says,
boys, hell is. Ohio is orange and blue. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight for this live episode. Sam, FC Cincinnati gets a massive win against the Columbus Crew, round 1 of the playoffs. We're moving on.
Oh my gosh. Vibes are as high as possible. I know, coming into this match, Ryan, it was a roller coaster, right? You kind of had two sides, honestly, to the FC Cincinnati fan base. A lot of people still pessimistic and like, we're never going to beat the Crew, right? And just to be able to get over the hump, I believe it was Nick Hagelin who said in his post-game, press conference, like, to knock out not only two things that we needed to, right? Last year got knocked out first round of the best of 3. And then, 2 years before that, getting knocked out Eastern Conference Finals against the Columbus Crew. You win this, you take care of both narratives. Just feels really good. We're able to soak it up for, extra week. Not that we want that, but we have it. So
vibes are high, so high. And I hope all of you joining us tonight and, by the time you listen to this, today, are really just having this attitude of like, man, what a game, what a moment for this club to move on now and get a chance to play, Messi in Miami at home. We'll get to that here later on, but we're so excited. Again, just a great moment for the club. So we're going to recap this game for us, a 2-1 victory at home, game 3, round 1. And then second part of the episode, we'll touch on some FC Cincinnati news and a little bit of a small preview, but we do have an international break between the next match, 2 weeks away now, Sam. So let's roll into this recap, because what a moment again it was. Sam, I think, let's touch on this quote by Lucas Engel that we heard. I think it was Thursday or Friday. We get some quotes out, and then we see the video of it. Lucas Engel says that he wants to die with his boots on. And I was just ready to run through a brick wall, man. I was ready for the game to be that moment he said it.
No, yeah, the quote comes out, and I think along with you and everybody else, right, it was kind of like, okay, this was the quote we needed, right? Going into the week, we hadn't really obviously, like game one, you got interviews from Miles and Evander, and they were talking about how excited they are to play in this rivalry and really, be a part of it. And Miles seemed more enthusiastic than Evander did about it, which awesome. Great to hear. They did not give a quote like this, right? When you give a quote like this, you're asking the entire community, the entire FC Cincinnati fan, but like everything, like, get behind me. I'm dying with my boots on tonight. Like, I don't care. It's that type of mentality. So very cool.
And it's the proper reaction to getting slammed.
I think that was the reason it was a proper reaction is because you're saying it, not only like how you feel, right? Because that's how he felt, but that is exactly how the fan base feels too, right? If any fan, right, was going to play in game 3, they would have felt the exact same way. Like, I'm going to die on that field playing against the Columbus Crew.
Dude, that's the mentality. And just to hear that got me so amped up to know that the boys were ready. They're ready for this moment. They're ready to do what they needed to do at home. And Sam, by all means, last night was electric. The atmosphere was top 5 in TQL that we've ever seen. The TIFO was top tier. Again, shout out the Forge, Sam, if you want to load up this photo of what we saw. I mean, unbelievable. Again, just in short notice to put this up, you see the club crest with the flip cards kind of colored, if you guys can see this here. Unbelievable. So well done.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, man, once again, they pull off the overlay, right? We had seen this before from, I think was it 2023? They did the Sin City one, right? Where they had kind of the overlay background. So similar to this, very cool that they were able to kind of make it into the crest. And yeah, I mean, Ryan, you also had Andrew Abbott from the Reds pull the sword as well.
Yeah,
so very cool. But yeah, the phenomenal tifo from, the Forge and, everybody in the Bailey.
Yeah, it was very well done. Again, just to see everyone involved with and to do their job, because sometimes you don't know if people are going to always do it. But it was well coordinated, and it looked cool, especially with the orange out that we had. Which, again, we're getting back into theme games. I love that. We talked about that so many times, but it's awesome to see, Sam. But lineup wise, we had a little bit of some surprises here. Kind of walk us through the 2 big ones that we saw.
Yeah, so obviously the biggest one is Nick Hagglund's back, right? That was the immediate thing. We were missing him in game 2. He was a game time decision in game 2, just unable to go. He's back. And so also Engel with his first start since what did you have here? October 4th at New York Red Bull. So had been a while for him. The thing that you saw in the formation wise was we had Hadebe and Engel together. I believe that combination, maybe we only played that maybe once or twice during the season, because
early on the season.
Usually you would want to go with Engel, right, as he's been a better center back throughout the year. However, with Kubo being out or Ashano still not 100%, you go with Engel as your left wing back or left back.
Do you feel like, Sam, let's talk on that real quick. I felt like they wanted to maybe be a little bit more defensive to start in this one and maybe play it a little bit safer. Engel obviously had experience playing center back, but he's going to be a little bit more of a defensive left wing back than we see with Luka. Ultimately is the right decision. And Engel left his heart out there. Poor guy gets injured second half. But is that kind of how you saw that lineup wise with Engel there?
Yeah, a little bit. As far as playing more defensive, you would have thought that Obi would have gotten the start instead of Giddy, right? If you're talking, fully defensive. So that also is something that surprised you and I was Giddy starts all 3 matches in this best of 3. So going into the Miami match, I know we'll talk about that here kind of just a little bit at the end of the podcast and show here. But Giddey, Obi, like who starts right going forward? Because Obi looked really good in the second half. But yeah, I think all in all, once again, very similar lineup to what we saw in game one, if not almost the exact same. So I don't know. It was looking good. But Ryan, first 20 minutes, what did you see there?
Yeah, it's a back and forth. So I don't think, obviously both games we see prior to this, coaches are making different adjustments. And then you roll out the way that we did very similarly. How are you going to play different? How are you going to stand out? And I think the first 20 minutes is a little bit more feeling out. Not a ton of chance from either team, but some silly yellow cards. I think Nick Hagelin getting the one on the sideline was kind of ridiculous. I can't believe that they gave him that for that. And then I think a foul on Evander as well. So I think I texted you early on is let's not get caught up in the ref game. I think that's when we run into trouble. So let's keep our head, let's play our game and do what we need to do. And luckily it kind of ironed itself out and we kind of found a groove because after that, Sam, 26 minute, Evander had a nice chance. Yeah.
And like you have here though, like Ender is the guy that kicked off. The first 20 minutes was all Ender Echenike, really. He was creating down that right side. He was absolutely burning Arfston, who is a U.S. men's national team, like borderline starter right now. So that was really cool to see. And he creates this chance for Evander and the scissor kick. Whew, if that would have gone in, that would have been a hell of a goal for the MLS playoffs. Probably one of the best, right, that we've seen as far as this playoffs. But yeah, unfortunately, Schulte is able to kind of parry it away. And then, the minute after that, Giddey almost, puts it in. So here, in that 5-minute span, FC Cincinnati was really pressuring Columbus. It was the best chances we've had, in
already
the first
Sam,
half so far.
26 minutes, you had more chances than you had in game 2.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
it was like
feeling better.
All it took was to go home. Then you get
right.
chances, right?
Yeah. Well, I just felt like a lot more comfortable, with the guys, and they seemed to be obviously wanting to kind of get that out of their brains. It almost looked like they wanted to get on the field as fast as they could just to go and erase their thoughts from that. But yeah, no, those two chances were huge and obviously built in confidence for the boys. I think the 42nd minute is the next one that stands out to me and you at least as well, where I think the Crew on a corner kick have a ball that's bounced around. They play a ball like right at the 6.
Just pinballed in the box.
How many times do we see that scored against us? And luckily they don't get a great shot on it. I think it was Rossi that shoots it and Denke clears it off the line, thankfully. But it kept it level at that point. And then I think shortly after, I think Russell-Rowe also had a look and Roman put it away to the side. It wasn't a great chance.
Yeah.
So I do feel like a little bit back and forth, a little bit testy, just in the terms of no one really wants to show what they want to do or fully go at it.
Once again, mental game between Nance and Noonan.
It's all about adjustments because if you look at, so obviously their player in the midfield gets injured or feels something, so they put on Russell-Rowe, but the way that they play is so different when they have him on. I mean, they're more direct. They have more of a physical presence up top. It makes our defenders have to communicate that much more, to pick guys up. So first 20 minutes, kind of back and forth. They add, Jacen Russell-Rowe changes the game. By the end of the half, we're getting some chances. So like you kind of put here going into half, Sam, similar to game 1, 0-0, that you had some good opportunities. They've had some decent chances, but ultimately, again, for me, the difference in this one, Sam, it's underrated, is game 1, we're attacking away from the Bailey and we find a way to win. Second half of game 3, we're attacking towards the Bailey. And I think the boys really feed off of that energy. So very smart on the coin flip there. I think on Miles Robinson's part, if that was the case, because they always seem to want to do that second half. And I think, honestly, moving forward, that's what you're going to see.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be a huge advantage, right? Because when you're attacking and you feel that momentum building, you can see the fans, right? I think it helps. It does. It also puts a lot of pressure on the defense, of the other team. So, yeah, obviously, coming out of half, we're trying to figure out, is this going to be similar to game 1, right? Game 1, Columbus came out and had a really good chance, and almost put us down 1-0, but
yeah,
once again, very similar here, though. I mean, FC Cincinnati didn't really come out too good in the second half. If anything, Celentano once again just kept us in the game.
Yeah, no, a good shout there because Picard, this guy with the bowl cut, man, I cannot get his image out of my head. Misses a wide open header. I mean, Roman gets big.
Oh, yeah.
He steps off his line and makes just an unbelievable save again against Columbus, Sam. He had his goal of the year or goal save of the year, 2 years ago, and now again in a huge moment. We know that Roman can stop these shots. He can do it, man. And that's why he, again, has solidified himself where he's at, why he's getting called up to U.S. team. Big moment for him. You see him later on do a very similar thing. But yeah, kept it even. Unfortunately, the big moment happens in the 62nd minute, Sam. Lucas Engel goes down, non-contact. I think he's grabbing like his upper leg, maybe low back. He's been dealing with some nerve pain from what it sounds like the last several weeks, so maybe that tied into it. But immediately you see Luka Orishana go out wide. And where does Columbus attack? Right away, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Schulte, it was, he had it on his foot and immediately went to Orishano's side. Herrera took the ball down the right, and usually you see Orishano be able to close it down with the pace that he's got, but you could kind of see there's still a little bit something lingering, not 100%. And I believe Herrera, takes one touch and just plays it, immediately across to Russell-Rowe. And unfortunately, Russell-Rowe bodies Miles Robinson and is able to
Miles gets caught off by it. I think he was trying to step to draw the guy offside. So then Miles has got closing speed.
Well, so see that's the thing. Once again, angles are angles, right? We see things on the broadcast. We see things in person. The one that they showed on the broadcast, Herrera was about 2 yards offside.
Oh, he's clearly off.
It was a very clear offside. Yeah. Even the broadcast was like, "Oh, this is probably going to be overturned." Columbus is unlucky to have this whatever overturned, and immediately you see the Columbus fans cheering, and the broadcast is even like, "Oh, what happened?"
Right? Yeah. No, in the stadium, there was whispers going around of all right, they're checking for VAR. How close was it? And then you're getting some text streamed in from people watching, and they're like, "Oh, he's clearly off." So you're just waiting for him to go to VAR, and he never does. So the angle we see is not straight across.
No,
so maybe they have to infer a little bit on it.
Yeah.
But it's still ridiculous in this day and age that you can clearly see where the guy's at, and luckily it doesn't come back to bite us because – again, it just felt like a moment where we were on the wrong side of it.
One of those of course moments, of course,
right.
Of course, this wouldn't go our way.
But Sam, if you look at it, 63rd minute traditionally for us to go down, everyone's putting their head down. I honestly had a little bit of a quiet optimism that this would get the boys going. I really felt like, all right, let's see how this team's going to respond again.
Yeah,
to going down. I mean, look how last match went. So, you see. The goal obviously happened with Brenner 4 minutes later. And what's key about this is how quickly we do it. If it is 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, it's a different match. I mean, the fact that they score so close to when the Crew did, it negates all sort of momentum and just unbelievable moments. So let's go through the 67th minute corner kick by Evander here. There was previous corners where I think Nick Hagelin had just been bodying people in the box.
Hagelin and Miles had chances. Yeah.
Both of them. Yeah. Good shout. So both of them are drawing defenders. And I think a lot of the guys go to the front post, and Hidebe is left on a 1-on-1 and he gets something on it, and Brenner just poaches on the back stick, man, and puts it in just in the right position.
If you're looking at the replay, huge shout out to Denke, because Denke actually boxes his defender out, ensuring that either himself or Brenner would be able to have space to finish something, like that off. So he gave Brenner space to be able to coolly, just put that thing, in the back of the net. And Ryan, we're 1-1, game's back on.
You felt like that was obviously a huge moment. And you see the way that the whole fans react, to this, but even the players, I really felt like it was a shift in obviously a momentum point in the match. But what was interesting, Sam, after this happens is we get Jabari that comes in for Denke. And I'm kind of looking at the time like, man, you're taking off your record, signing in the striker who scored in game 1 in the winner, in the 75th minute. So kind of what are we doing? But at the same token, like, I think, going back to the Giddey conversation from game 1 where we saw him where he was, very tired. I think Pat's looking at his star striker and saying, man, like this guy he's tired. And I guess in a game where the Crew dominates possession and we're going to be on the defensive foot and we have to counter, you're looking for a striker who can give you energy. And that's really what Jabari was.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't play in game 1. He didn't play in game 2. Game 3 is an opportunity for him to come in to press and to create these moments that he does. And shout out to the staff for giving him that opportunity. We'll touch on it here in a bit, but I think that's underrated in what happens next.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so, like you said, what happens next is I think this all starts with Buka. You see Buka being able, honestly, the pressure that FC Cincinnati put on, the Crew's defense, they turn the ball over and Buka is able to pick out a guy like Jabari. Jabari, once again, hold up player, does phenomenal with the ball to be able to settle it, plays it off to Giddey. Giddey doesn't quite have, like, he's now back to goal, right? So he doesn't really have a shot.
As your defensive midfielder in the box like that, holding off the defender.
I know. He has been playing phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Right? 21 years old. So Giddey's holding off the Crew defender and plays it to Brenner, and Brenner puts this thing away low and to the left of Patrick, or to the Patrick Schulte's right. I mean, what a goal. Pandemonium in TQL. Ryan, you were there. Give us a glimpse.
Unbelievable, man. Just, I was losing my, it was insane. I think if you go back and look at this play, his little side touch around Moreira is insane.
Yeah.
Moreira, guys, for context, Moreira was the defender of the year last year in the MLS. Brenner makes this little feint to the right and slots it between Chambeau's legs into the corner. Guess who gave the ball away to Buka, Sam? Chambeau. So it comes back to where he plays it right through his legs. It was perfect. It was unbelievable. The guy goes to the corner and just loses his mind. It's always that corner. He always scores in that corner and throws his jersey off. It's never the other corner. It's never the other side.
It was funny. I was talking to some of my family members today, and they were like, why do you, he should have like done a knee slide. And I was like, I don't know. Brenner's more of like a jumping guy. Like whenever he does
him and Denke, both are strikers. They love taking their shirts off.
I know whenever they score, right? Like they're a jump and celebrate kind of guys. Like we don't have a lot of knee slide guys. So
all 3 or 4 times that he's done the celebration, it's in the same corner.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad about it. I'm down there in that corner.
Yeah,
shout out to everyone else who was there too.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a front row seat to it. It was nice. He almost took off his shorts too. I'm not really sure what that was about. But it was an insane moment. And you just felt like, I mean, obviously 85th minute, like, can we just hold on, man? We know how this story has been written before. We've seen it time and time again.
And then you see extra time comes out.
Don't get me started. I mean, we can get it started a little bit, but I'm going to touch on that later too, because we got to hold on for our lives. After that goal, I'm thinking again, we're playing Noonan ball. Like, we're dropping so many bodies back. We're not holding possession.
They
made a better job
right?
at clearing the ball out, but it was scary again.
They made subs too, right?
You're right.
Powell came on, right?
Well, yeah, right after we score, we bring in Alvis Powell, and we bring in, I think it was Obi was the other one. And
Obi came in for Brenner.
Correct. Yeah. So he goes more defensive, but the Crew also brings on 3 fresh people for the last 9 minutes as well. So they're, obviously gunning down our throats. They get some decent opportunities. But man, we held out, and what an unbelievable win. I had been through a lot of games at TQL, a lot of moments against the Crew, and just to win that in that moment, it felt like obviously revenge for 2023. Like it was just such a cool moment. Again, everyone in the chat, you can let us know your thoughts on your pure elation, in this moment. But Sam, walk us through some impressions and stats that come out of this match.
Yeah, I think the first impression that you and I collectively and everybody, nobody's going to remember that 0-4 loss, right? Completely washed away, right? What we said last week was you go out, you win. If you're Pat Noonan, right? We're talking about his job in jeopardy, like what's going on with this. People are calling for his head, right? You win this game, everybody forgets about not only you losing your job, but also that 0-4 loss. And I can't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we talked about it a lot last time, was just like, if you win now, just negates that completely. So yeah, awesome to see. Sam, let's throw up a photo here. So final stats in possession. It was interesting. Guys, you can do the numbers here on possession. 40 to 68. That does not add up to 100 possessions. So not really sure what happened with the graphic there. It felt at times like it was, obviously 60-40. But I feel, again, that this team thrives on the counters. So happy that we could find the moment that we did. 16 shots for us. Definitely better than the one, if you want to call that one, from the last game. But yeah, a funny thing that we saw after the match.
So Ryan, if you look at FOTMob has 63-37.
Okay. All right.
So little bit better, bit better, more accurate.
Yeah. Sam, this was Brenner's first goals against the Crew ever, and in the MLS playoffs, his first goal ever in the MLS playoffs. So big time moment for him. Awesome to see that we, bring this guy back in. I real quickly want to shout out Josh in the comments here, talking about how the Crew targeted Luka down the side, down the stretch there. And I agree, man. They went right after him, and the defense just found a way, again, to clear the balls out. But in the future, if we have to play that way with the wingbacks that we have available, that's something to watch for. So thanks for that comment there. We'll see how that plays out in future games. But Sam, walk us through all-time wins now for FC Cincinnati when conceding first.
Yeah, I mean, this great stat, obviously, like Ryan said, when conceding the match's opening goal in the second half, we hardly come back, but we've got 5 instances since 2019, and the last one being against Atlanta in 2024. But all of them are 2-1 victories. So I think that's something that stands out too, is we don't really add after that, right? We come back and then game over, right? We buckle down, we play Noonan ball, and we get out of here with a 1-goal win. So
that's our style, man.
Yes, exactly. Nick had it in his presser once again, like it said something like that. He's like, we've had 17 1-goal wins this year. Why stop now? So I thought that was funny. But yeah, once again, Brenner recorded the second brace for FC Cincinnati in MLS Club playoffs, with Barreal also having the brace in 2023 in round 1. So that was really cool to see. And then Samuel Giddey, Ryan, he gets his first goal contribution for FC Cincinnati with his game-winning assist.
Hopefully many more to come for Giddey. Just huge moment for him to play a 21-year-old against the Crew, your rival, against a legend like Darlington Nagbe too, and to come out on top. Like that's some big kahunas for Pat to do that 3 games in a row instead of Obi. So shout out to him for that decision. Sam, I think I had put this stat out that Evander has never scored or assisted an MLS playoff match game. Now you can kind of correct. Let's see if the MLS officially, I guess, acknowledges this, but does he receive a hockey assist for the Brenner goal?
So if you read the FC Cincinnati recap, right, they gave him the assist. So it said that it was Evander and Hidebe's first MLS assist. So
for the playoffs.
Yeah, for the playoffs. So FC Cincinnati gave him the hockey assist. I don't think statistically it has showed up yet, if I'm correct on that. But pretty cool moment if he's able to finally get his first. Hopefully we can get a couple goals out of Evander here, in this next stage. But Ryan, walk me through the Tommy G call. Obviously it was legendary. You see Tommy G post the booth cam, right? The booth cam video of him and Kevin celebrating not only the game-winning goal, but also the first goal as well. What were your thoughts on that?
Go check out Tommy G's booth cam celebrations for every single,
goal. The only clip we didn't get for you guys tonight. But,
we got some clips coming up for you. But Tommy G and Kevin McCloskey, just pure elation after both goals. The second one particularly is my favorite because they're hugging and just like they're us. You know, they're literally us in the stands.
My
Like,
favorite moment was the "Let's go," right? You really
yeah, right.
you never hear that from a broadcast,
Yeah.
just like letting out a "Let's go," but you can
Right.
see like he was celebrating and there was a little bit of like breath, and then he was like, "Let's go," and it was like,
And then he
okay.
starts hitting the area in front of him as well. It looks like
Yeah.
Kevin's gonna run through a wall, and then the final whistle blows. You see that at the end as well, and they're just hugging it out. Like, again, these guys are us. They're fans. They've been around the club for all these years. They know
From the beginning,
obviously what it means to beat Columbus, especially in the playoffs. So I want to put this out here, Sam. You know, we know that the Reds do and this one belongs to the Reds. Tommy G needs to have this written somewhere in the stadium. When FC Cincinnati wins, he always says, and they are dancing in the Bailey tonight. Can we get that abbreviation, and can we get that written somewhere? Can we put that above the booth or something? That's
I like
just
that.
an awesome call.
Yeah.
And they do it for every single one. So I would love to see the ATADINB. I would love to see that. If we can make that happen, that'd be cool. But for you guys tonight, we got something special. We're gonna roll out Coach's Corner. We talk about Pat Noonan's press conferences so much. Sam did a nice job here with giving you guys some of what he had to say. He had a cool quote about Brenner and subbing him in. So let's roll that clip.
Well, two big moments. There was a period where he came over to the sideline and was asking what the change was going to be, if any, structurally, and who was coming off, and I said it was him, and he gave me a look like, please tell me you're joking. So, but he said, I'm going to score another goal. So he held up his end of the bargain on that one.
That's hilarious. Like, literally, Pat was gonna sub him off, and he's like, "No, dude, I'm gonna win this game."
Yeah, because
And
Jabari was supposed to come in for him.
yeah, that's insane. But the relationship that they build on his now second stint with the club, to be able to tell the coach, like, "Don't sub me out," like, "Please don't sub me out," it is wild. Because if you look back at the first stint, this probably would have never happened.
It just
never.
goes back to the maturing, right? I mean,
So mature.
Laurel had the interview with Brenner coming back, and he was like, "Yeah, I was young, I was immature, I just wanted to go to Europe. I didn't, it was one of those things where the grass isn't always greener on the other side, right?" And he took that very, very well, and so now he's coming back, and he wants to make up for lost time, and boy, is he doing that.
He's ready to do more too. I don't think he's ever played against Messi, so we got something special for Brenner, in FC Cincinnati. Sam, we got our second quote here from Pat Noonan. He's talking about the fact that FC Cincinnati can't get complacent. We obviously win this big match, but there's more to come.
Yeah.
While this is such a special moment for the players and the staff members that have been here and the fans, I don't want anybody to get comfortable and settle because we beat a really strong team. We're going to have to go do it again, and then again, and then again. So it's not getting any easier, and I'm just pleased in the moment that everybody can, maybe take a deep breath and say, okay, we saw something in that team that, gives us the belief that we need to go on that run.
Yeah, cool quote. Again, just to understand the moment that, like, all right, respect the fact that you just beat your rival, but also we got to do this again and again and again. So get ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but obviously, like Pat said, like, enjoy this moment, really savor it, and when we come back from international break, be ready to go full force because we're not stopping.
We're not dead yet, like you said.
Nah.
In your tweet. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed Coach's Corner. We're gonna keep rolling that out. I love that. We always would just reference it, and now we're just gonna show you the clips for it because I think it's cool to hear from him after the matches. So Sam, let's jump into our storylines. Chris Albright had a slam dunk, home run, whatever you want to call it, of a summer window this year. I mean, look at the guys that he brought in, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
He starts all 3 games in round 1. Gets the game-winning assist. Ender plays lights out and arguably was better than Arfston, who's like you said, borderline U.S. men's national team starter. Jabari, he brings in. Nobody knew about Jabari. And he comes in off the bench in this one and contributes in a huge way. And then to bring Brenner back too. I mean, just a special window for Chris Albright, and for all the slack that he gets, man. Let Chris cook.
No, absolutely. And you're looking at this window going like, obviously Giddey is signed long-term, Ender is signed long-term, but you got two guys that are on loan in Jabari and Brenner, right, that are showing out. And even like on top of that, like Engel, right, on loan, showing out. Like these guys, the contracts are not guaranteed, right? There's buyback options, but you know, they're here to kind of just add more experience, if you will. And the fact that they're contributing in this way, this much, is astounding. It really is. And like you said, phenomenal job by Chris to be able to identify the needs and fit, you know, with the players into this system in 2 months.
Yeah, that's the crazy part is like everyone wants to talk about, you know, we even said it. How is this team going to gel going into the playoffs? And it's not perfect. Like you see game 2,
it still isn't.
There's glimpses where we're still figuring it out. But guys, you have to put it in perspective. Ender is 21. Giddey is 21. Like Brenner's obviously been with the club, but he's never played with a lot of the. It's unbelievable how much we've gotten out of these players.
That 22 under 22 conversation is looking a little more interesting now that Giddey and Ender are putting on a show. I'm just saying, MLS, be put on notice here.
Yep. Second storyline, Sam, Brenner's back, man. Like we touched on this a little bit before, but 9 goals back with FC Cincinnati in this stint. 9 games, 6 goals, 1 assist, match winner against the Galaxy already, and in Hell is Real match 3. 3rd leading scorer on the team this season in 9 games.
I mean, not bad. Not bad. Right. I think, gosh, I mean, I've got more to say about this guy coming up soon, but yeah, this has been a heck of a season. I mean, not even half a season for Brenner, right? 9 games. So I just can't wait to see, once again, building off of this. You talk about it continuing to not be perfect. Let's get as close as we can, right? Because him and Denke still need to be better. Him and Evander are phenomenal together. Let's just get it all working. Maybe we go 4-0, 5-0 on Inter Miami, right? But getting ahead of myself. But Ryan, once again, another storyline. Noonan outshines Nancy for maybe the first time in his career.
Yeah, the record on paper is not fantastic. Not gonna lie, but when it mattered here, he got it done. And the big part of this was the sub of Jabari, and nobody expected it. Are you gonna take off your $16 million striker in a must-win game? That's huge. I mean, that could have gone the opposite way, and that would have been a huge conversation, but it didn't. And he did so well in that. So I felt like Pat was playing the long game. I talked to people that say, well, what happened in game 2? You got slammed. It's like he made the moves that were making the most sense to win in game 3. And that's what we did. So shout out to him. Honestly, for him in this moment, it's probably a huge relief. I don't know, obviously, how much heat he's feeling because Pat's got this job. Let's be honest. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, he outshines Nancy, who by all means around the league is classed as, you know, top tier, the guy, which again, he is. He's a great coach, but we got a better one.
I can't agree more. I think, you know, once again, not only the Jabari sub, but so Nancy subs Russell-Rowe first, right? And it was kind of like the first chess piece of like, oh, okay, like I'm going to put Russell-Rowe in here because I put him in the second half in game 2, but we'll put him in the first half early. Nancy kind of won that one. And then you see Noonan counters and go, you know what? I'm going to give you Jabari, right? Also, what they didn't account for was the fact that Brenner is a dog. He is an absolute dog, right? So I think quality, right, shows in the end.
Yeah, I mean, even with like the injuries, like his hands forced in this one too with Engel. So who do we slot in? Like who do we put out wide now? You know, obviously having to put Alvis Powell, you know, on the right as well again after, you know, game 2 wasn't his best, but to put him back out there and to instill confidence in that player to go out and to win it for us. Again, props to Pat Noonan. We're moving on. The job's not done, and he said that if you guys go and listen to what we had just shown you. But Sam, let's roll into a trivia question here before we take a break. So trivia question of the week presented by Goals TV. When is the last time that FC Cincinnati won a match after conceding first?
Oh boy. I mean, this is just conceding first in general. This doesn't have to do with the same exact stat that I just said in the impressions, which was second half.
In general.
In general. Okay. Oof.
Or maybe people need to listen.
I need to listen because I'm second guessing myself right now. Like, I read the impression, right, and the stat, and I might be wrong, but I don't know. I'm not going to give you a team. I'll give you a time. I'm going to go earlier this season. I'm going to go June.
All right, Sam saying June. Any team you wanted to throw out a team?
Oh shit. No, because I can't come. I think we played Orlando in June, right?
He's going with Orlando in June. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, and we'll tell you at the end of the episode. Hey everyone, the Flying Lion podcast is your home for FC Cincinnati coverage as a part of the Chatterbox Sports family. We're proud to be a part of a growing network of creators who are building real connections with fans across the region as the game continues to grow and in preparation for the 2026 FIFA World Cup hosted in America.
Yeah, and if you're a local business or a brand looking to reach an audience that's passionate, loyal, and plugged into the city's sports scene, this is the place.
Partnering with us is not just supporting a podcast. You're joining a community that celebrates FC Cincinnati and various other Cincinnati sports teams as well. So reach out through our email, which is Flying Lion Pod, FLYIN Lion Pod @gmail.com, or direct message us on social media to learn more about sponsorship and partnering options. Thanks again. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Again, Ohio is orange and blue. I'm rocking my shirt tonight. We got to represent. I'm sick of all the talk about it, back and forth, the past. Right now, Sam, we own them, and I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit. So jersey swaps we're going to roll into now because, again, a winning week here. Who'd you have?
Easy one. I'm taking the easy one, right? Brenner's my jersey swap of the week. He stepped up when it mattered most. He took both chances with confidence and precision. It didn't have any wasted touches. He did what he had been calling for, which was finding consistent pockets between the defenders, right? We were, asking our attackers to find more space, be able to, go in between the lines and not be stagnant. And he did just that. This guy wants to be in Cincinnati. You even see Udinese fans, right, asking why is he playing so good for us? It's because he understands there is nowhere he can go that is like Cincinnati. He wants to win here, Ryan, and he wants to win here really bad.
Is the love that Brenner is showing the city more genuine than Lucho did when he would kiss the crest? That's a deep conversation. But the fact that he's come back now and done what he's done has furthered that talk tenfold. I think that Brenner is sneakily becoming up there on a high list of favorable FC Cincinnati players, and his legend can only grow in this playoff run if he continues. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's the everybody loves the comeback story, right? Like it's very much that, and it's the apologetic, like, hey, I know I did you wrong, but I'm gonna, make sure I make up for it and some, and hopefully the and some is an MLS Cup. So we'll see. But Ryan, jersey swap of the week for you.
Yeah, Ender Echenike, dude, I want your jersey for all 3 games in this. You cooked Max Arston. I butchered his name there a little bit, but Ender, just unbelievable game 3. I think early on in the match, Sam, he gets banged around and he's still able to go the whole game. It was unbelievable effort by him. I think Pat even, shouted him out in his post-game conference saying that, he got really hit in a lot of different moments and was able to keep going and was not only good on the offensive end, but defensively, he made some really good stops as well. So I want to shout out Ender. He's played phenomenal, and he gets rewarded with a Venezuelan call-up for the way that he's been going. So I'm very happy again with this young player and how he's adapted to this team. We didn't know what it was going to look like without Yedlin, and Ender has made us all quickly forget, which, again, we love Yedlin, but Ender has just been phenomenal.
Yes, absolutely. This guy has played his butt off this entire series. His pace changes the game, right? And you talk about the comparisons to Yedlin, almost like a younger Yedlin, right? Because that's kind of what Yedlin used to do. He used to change the games with his pace. And once again, Ender being 21, he's able to continue to build off of that and learn. And I just think, yeah, he's been incredible so far.
Yeah, no, can you imagine if like he was here to like learn under him, but then he wouldn't play as many minutes?
Yeah.
I just see that this guy just seems so experienced for like how little.
That's why you got the call up to the Venezuelan national team, man. I mean,
just so calm, cool, collected. He plays bigger than what his actual size is too.
Oh yeah,
he's winning headers and everything. So I hate to say it reminds me a lot of me when I used to play, but it does, and that's why I think I'm more favorite about this player. So, but on our flip side, Sam, you have a fun card of the week.
Yes. So my card of the week, I believe, is still going on. So I saw this on Twitter before the show. The Canadian Premier League final is in an absolute blizzard. So before their match, they actually had to take a weather delay, and it was, because the snow just kept coming and coming. They even had the goalkeeper out there shoveling snow with the crew to help out to get the lines in order so that way they could even see where they were playing. Ryan, like, can you imagine playing in a final in a blizzard in the snow? Like, that's insane.
Hey, Sam, it could happen.
It could still happen. Yes,
it could still happen
because it was snowing up near me, today. So, but the amount of snow is insane, right?
Yeah,
and
go look at the videos.
A bicycle kick goal in the game as well. Like, this is insane. Your foot has to hurt from doing the bicycle kick, but at the same time, you just did a bike in the snow. Like, what?
No, doing a header in the snow, hard.
That's true.
But slide tackles in the snow, super fun.
Yeah,
they had to, like you said, shovel out the lines to be able to see. And we're not talking like a little snow. This is a lot of snow.
Yeah, a couple inches. Yeah,
it's pretty insane. So go check out the videos and photos of this one because it's pretty special. It's our favored, orange ball. We don't see the orange ball a lot, but the orange ball gets rolled out for the snow game that you see in a lot of FIFA or FC 26 games. So that was cool to see. But I like it. I like the shout out there.
Ryan, card of the week for you.
All right, our next opponent, Inter Miami. You guys need to stop flopping. It was absolutely ridiculous. I'm calling you out for it. Falcone flopped in a big way against Nashville. Go check out this video. Sam Sturridge scores. It's going to be 2-1. Nashville's going to come back and possibly tie it. Falcone jumps out of his shoes. He dives probably 3 minutes after he gets hit. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. There might be incidental contact, but it's not a foul. Taylor Twellman even goes online and says it's not a foul. He says it during the broadcast that it's not a foul. So again, that's part of mine. The other is offside. What are we doing? We talked about it in the first part of the episode. Why is this an offside? Not called an offside. We go to VAR, still not called an offside. Could have completely destroyed us. And then 9 minutes of extra time. Where did that come from? I had a lot of gripes, so I hope you guys don't mind me having a few cards.
I don't know if Ryan's ever had 3 cards of the week. Usually it's only 2. We limit him to 2, right? But I can only hold him back so much.
There's a head injury and angle goes down. I'm thinking, all right, that's maybe 4 or 5. And there's the goal celebration, maybe 6 or 7, 9 minutes. Are you kidding me? I think Pat looks over at the center ref and was like, this is a joke, right? Like, he's looking to see if Nance is pocketing him some money or something. Those people up north like to do some gambling. We saw the Guardians people today get called out on it. So
the Cleveland crew, I mean, go ahead, rope them in with that, right? That's hilarious. I don't know. I mean, we were talking game 1 conspiracy, right? As far as the referee goes. So I don't know. It might be on to something, but yeah, it'll be interesting when we take on Miami. There's going to be a lot of superlatives, a lot of things, to talk about with that series, but hopefully we're able to get past it.
And hopefully that's not the talking point. Like, I just want the game to be played
straight up. We beat you.
It shouldn't be talked about like the referee's decision that decided our game 2 against them when we played in Miami. Miles Robinson had a header goal that was called back because they blew the whistle too early. Like, don't let these games be decided this way. And it unfortunately happened in Nashville. So for all those Nashville people that might see this clip in the future, we're here for you. And hopefully you're a fan of ours when we play Miami in 2 weeks. But Sam, let's roll into more awards because it's award season for the MLS. Evander is named to the MLS Best 11 for the 2nd consecutive year. The first Brazilian to ever be named to multiple best 11s, which is an insane stat. Think of all the Brazilians that have played in this league. 4th straight season with an FC Cincinnati player representing the best 11. That's pretty special. I don't think that's been done a lot by other clubs. Sam, 18 goals and 15 assists on the year. You guys can see the graphic here of all the other players.
Yeah, obviously, he's up there with the biggest names, and he deserves to be, right? He was in the MVP conversation with Dreyer up there with Messi. Just a phenomenal season by him. The fact that as a club we've had the fourth straight season with an FC Cincinnati player representing in the best 11 goes to show once again the quality that not only Chris is able to bring in, but also Pat Noonan's able to kind of mold and shape and make them the best versions of themselves. So very cool to see that.
Yeah, again, love the graphic there for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing that. Just special that I think it's been before. Was it Miazga, correct? And then Barrial. No, I don't think Barrial was that year, 23. Yeah, Lucho, and then Lucho last year. And then, obviously Evander this year. So special player. He's got to show up now. We've been calling him out. I think he will. He's going to step up in a big way coming up. But yeah, so past that though, Sam, Kevin Denke named to the club's P&G Humanitarian of the Year for his work around the Cincinnati community. Go ahead and walk us through what this one looked like.
Yeah, really, really cool moment. And very, very obviously, like if anybody on the club was going to get it, it's probably going to be him because the amount of work that he was doing in the community, the guy brand new to the club and immediately not only wants to make an impact on the field, but an impact in the community. Right. And you saw that when he made the bicycle goal, right? He donated all of those bikes to those kids. And then him being able to go and appreciate engine number 9 for the fire department, also really cool. So just a good guy overall. Obviously, most of our players, especially Nick Haglin, right? Like he's very involved in the community. He is the Cincinnati community, right? Sure. But it's extra special to see an outsider, right? Somebody who is brand new to the city, brand new to the club, really embrace it and want to make a difference
right away. Yeah. Like that's the crazy part is it just shows like how good of a guy this dude is. Like we're so lucky to have Kevin and his work on the field, obviously great, but off the field too. That's what you want. And that's what, again, we pride ourselves on with this club is do it right on the field, but be a true man, off the field and for your community. So really special to see both these guys honored. Already adds to the fact that Roman Celentano, Save of the Year, Nick Haglin, Comeback Player of the Year. So a pretty long list there for awards for FC Cincinnati for the year. MVP hasn't been announced yet. I think Evander is probably going to get second or third in that running. Unfortunately, probably won't win that one, but still to be honored and to be put up that high is awesome again. So we're going to take you guys across the MLS playoffs, a little bit of an update, kind of show you where things are at. So NYCFC did advance in 3 games. They had an away victory at Charlotte on a Friday night where, again, the schedule's been wacky for this series. If you guys have been following along, they unbelievably won 3-1 in Charlotte in a crazy atmosphere. So shout out to them. I'm a big NYCFC fan when it comes to them playing Philly. Because if they beat Philly, Sam, we get to play at home. So everyone should go and root for NYCFC to beat Philly. That would be special. And then Miami did end up winning their game in that third. But again, it could have been a toss-up. That foul was a huge decider in the match. It was kind of ridiculous. But Sam, walk me through what's going on in the West.
Oh my gosh. If you didn't see what happened in the Minnesota Seattle game, you missed out. You missed out because this was absolutely incredible. Minnesota ended up moving on in a wild PK shootout. They were down 2-0. They come back and tie it up, right? They then take the lead 3-2. Seattle then ties it up 3-3. This thing goes to PKs, and somehow, some way, Minnesota is able to survive. Honestly, one of the dark horse picks for a lot of people in Seattle that were going to possibly make it to the MLS Cup just because of the quality of play. They won Leagues Cup, right? So very cool there.
Did you see that the goalie war was the final shootout? Like that's what decided it.
Yeah. St. Clair. Yeah.
The goalie of the year.
Very cool.
But so Fry misses hits the post or the crossbar, and Minnesota advances. So I think, was that the first upset of the playoffs? Is that the first one that we had seen?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it might be.
So
it
far.
might be the only one so far.
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
Everyone else, the higher seed is advanced. So, but that one was a toss up. Like I think Seattle or Minnesota. But you're right. I think a lot of people were picking Seattle just based on their form and how they do in tournaments, winning Leagues Cup, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you guys so San Diego is playing Portland as we record right now. Sam, Corey Baird is starting for San Diego in their game 3 against Portland. This is wild. Yes, the same player that played for us 2 months ago was not even hardly playing, is starting now. He played the last match, had an assist for them. But wild to see. Chucky Lozano is not in the starting 11 for San Diego.
Yeah, there's some drama. There's some drama there with
a lot of drama. Yeah. So will San Diego advance, or will Portland pull it out? That'll be interesting to follow. But just wanted to give you guys an update again and the relevancy, especially with the New York City series against Philly. I think the schedule is going to be announced here within the next, I would imagine, hour.
Yeah, because they said for us, right, it would either be the 22nd or the 23rd.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to find out a little bit. Hopefully, by the time you guys are listening next day as well, we'll have more information on that. But Sam, we roll into the international window. So again, why the MLS has this way? It's just because of the way that we have our scheduling right now. Yeah. But yeah, we've already had, one right before the playoffs started. Now we have this one during the playoffs. It's insane. So several guys that are representing their countries. Let's start at the top with Miles and Roman. Get the U.S. men's national team call up. You're shaking your head here.
I just like Miles and Roman question mark.
Roman is, 4 goalies. The U.S. took 4 goalies in this window. For context, for everyone who doesn't know, the U.S. has the March window and then the pre-World Cup window. So there is not a lot of time for people to make, other impressions. Sam, do you think Roman did enough to outplay Schulte for the number 3 spot for the U.S. men's national team if they're battling for that 3rd spot? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does from a shots, saving standpoint. Right? Obviously, Schulte practically gets the hockey assist right on their goal last night, but I think once again, Roman's quality, we've talked about it all the time. It's just his distribution just isn't there. So, I mean, I don't know if they're wanting him to be in camp just because they like his shot stopping ability, and maybe it's more of like, hey, if he does make it on the World Cup roster, he'd be really great in PKs. You would think, but you picked the wrong FC Cincinnati keeper. So it's just a great honor, right? Miles is probably going to start. Great honor for Roman to be in camp once again. Hopefully he doesn't come back injured like he did last time. Like Ryan, for all of these guys, we'll get into it here. So U.S. men's national team, right? They play Paraguay on the 15th, and they play Uruguay on the 18th, right? So that is what they are doing. Teenage Hadebe, Ryan. Zimbabwe, they're out of the World Cup qualifying. They're not even like why are they playing this game? Right? Pretty much. They play against Algeria on the 13th. Do we refuse to let him go? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I don't think that the club's ever denied a player, and I don't think they'll formally ever deny a player from going to play with their country. But let's talk about the fact that he's got to travel to Africa to play this match and then has to come back. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. You know, you talked about Miles and Roman and the injuries that we've seen in the past when they've been in international windows. But yeah, man, I'm a little bit worried, especially with the fact that like Davies been playing the way that he has. And so we need him as that starting guy in the back. So I can't imagine like, you know, he goes over and he comes back. Like the timing is rough. We, you know, again, for context, we'll play the 22nd or 23rd. Sam mentioned, you know, they have the 13th game against Algeria. I don't know if Zimbabwe has another one, but again, for the U.S. guys, the 18th. So we're talking, what, 4 or 5 days between? That's crazy. That's kind of wild, again, that they have to do this at the end of the season. Tired legs, beat up, all of it. Just played 3 matches in a row like this. But next person, again, I shouted it out, Ender Echenike, Venezuelan call-up. The 14th against Australia, 18th against Canada. He did not get to play the last window because he was injured himself prior to the window. Maybe he gets to play for them, but again, like another guy who's starting, and we need him to be healthy. So,
but this is a tough one because you kind of want, like, for him,
want it for the player,
for him, you want him to play this because, like you said, dude got called into his first senior camp ever. He was excited, but he knew he was injured, so he went anyway, and he showed up, and it was kind of like, dude, why are you here? Like, you're injured, can't really play. Like, what's going on? So they sent him back home, and he was like, you know what? I'll be back. You'll see me again. And I hope he's able to play against either Australia or Canada. Hopefully he puts on a show against Canada, makes them look like fools. But yeah, very cool for him and being called up.
Yeah, special again for these guys to be honored this way, but the timing just stinks. It really stinks. So Dado's the next one, Sam. U.S. men's national team under 22 or under 21, I guess. Under 21 team. First call-up, I think, that we know of for him for the under 21s. He's not getting any real minutes at all for us, but somebody's recognizing his talent, which is good. So that's nice for Dado. Hopefully that keeps him sharp. He was on the bench. But our next player, Stefan Chirilla, has not been on the bench because of all the other quality subs that we have. Romanian U19 team. I think this guy is pretty much fully set for the Romanian team, it seems like. But yeah, another guy that, again, is getting honored. There may be potentially a little bit more other people. I hope Denke does not get called up to Togo because
another guy in Africa. Yeah,
we don't need these guys to go across the globe and then come back and play meaningful games. Like, that's just tough. But Miami's got to deal with the same. But do their players have the right to also say, we don't want to go? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, it just takes one domino, right? If Messi doesn't go, like, he's like, you know what,
right,
I'm good. All the other players are like, well, if Messi's not going, I'm not going.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure. No, so I don't know. I don't know what that conversation looks like. I hope that we can get some clarity because, again, this window opens up as of, tomorrow or today. So I think that Miles and Roman are traveling to Philly is where this first match is. So we'll hopefully see them. They're battling for these World Cup roster spots, though. So some meaningful competition going on there. And again, for Miles and Roman, Sam, to go into camp and there's 3 crew players that are there as well. How's that going to look? Hey, guys, we just knocked you out. So there's that.
Yeah.
Some interesting conversation there.
Maybe, or no conversation at all.
I think they have respect for each other.
Yeah. Off the pitch, right? You're with the U.S. men's national team. It's a whole nother attitude, right? A whole nother thing that you're looking to accomplish. But Ryan, as we kind of get to the end of this show / podcast, depending on where you're listening, when you're listening, I know we've got a ways away now. Like Ryan said, we don't know if it's going to be November 22nd or the 23rd that we play Miami, but we'll give you some brief thoughts. Obviously, when that time comes, we'll do a full preview of that. You'll be able to hear our full thoughts on that game. But Ryan, coming into this matchup against Miami, is this the second time this year we'll get them at TQL. If you remember this year, we beat them 3-0, right, in the first matchup. Then it was a 0-0 draw. We played them in back-to-back weeks, which was crazy. Not something you see a lot in the MLS. So it's been a while since we've seen them. And like you said, first time that guys like Brenner and these, after summer transfer window guys are playing against Inter Miami and Messi.
Yeah, it'll be a completely different look. For several of the teams that we played late on in the season, they saw some of these guys. Miami hadn't seen what we have to offer in terms of, the power that we have. And I think we did get to see Rodrigo de Paul. I think we got to play against him. It might have, maybe he was not fully available. I can't remember quite. So that'll be an interesting tactic looking at the midfield and what that, will look like. Is that going to be Guidi, Sam, or is that going to be Obi? I think that's a huge question on who starts there. Because honestly,
we'll leave that question mark there.
Yeah, leave that as a question mark. We need somebody to just find Messi on the field and follow him around for the whole game.
Yeah.
So is that our young 21-year-old midfielder? Or is that Obi comes in and just scares the ever-living out of everyone in the midfield, even Rodrigo de Paul, and just goes hard because that's what Obi does. I don't know. It'll be really interesting. So we'll see about that. Like Sam said, second time this year. But if we look back the last several times that Miami's been, what was it, 6-1 last year at home, 3-0 this year?
They don't like TQL.
Scoreline. They don't like TQL. So I'm feeling pretty solid about that. Obviously, this is Messi. This is everything that we know about this player. But their defense has holes.
And it's been like
get exposed. Yeah. And I think that we can really take advantage of this team. It's going to be a more wide open game than what you saw against the Crew. That was big time chess.
Mm-hmm.
This game is all going to be about who seizes the moment.
Who throws the harder punch?
Who throws that harder punch? And we saw Evander get 2 goals, in that first game that we won 3-0. I think that he could really be primed for a big match against them at home again. That's the key. At home, at TQL. Look at the energy we had last night. That is going to be the difference for this one. But look at these ticket prices, Sam. They're insane. It is wild. If you guys want to go to this game, I hope you're a season ticket holder because resale market right now is $200 plus.
Oh, yeah, easy $200. So I was talking to another friend of mine, and she was telling me, hey, I saw that tickets were available. They were $200 a piece. I think she was going to get like 5, right? And so she's like, oh, $200, no problem. This is, a huge playoff game. Messi's in town, no problem. Puts the tickets in her cart. As soon as she purchased the tickets, put them in the cart. Ryan, she puts them in the cart. They become like a $5,000 total.
Whoa.
Instead of an $1,000 total.
Wow.
Right? For 5 tickets. Because they went from $200 to $1,000 a piece. She went,
I don't know what's going on in this resale market. And I really hope that we can show up. This is my initial thought is that we need the crowd we had from last night, Sam.
Well, so once again, I was
the crowd we had.
Once again, I was also talking to somebody else and they were like, well, if I was a season ticket holder, I would just, buy the ticket and resell it. And I was like, no,
we need those.
That is not what you do. You buy the ticket.
I know you can make your money
go to the game
for the season. I know you can do that. I know you can get all your money back. But they need you. The team needs you. Look at what it meant to them last night. Go to the match, support the team.
Yeah.
We could possibly be going to the MLS Cup and play at home. It's going to be the same way. It's going to be the same amount, if not more. Yeah. So you better get used to it in some ways is what I have to say. This is what it is. Honestly, and the best player arguably of all time is coming in to play in the playoff game. We got to show up.
Yeah.
The players are going to show up. We got to show up. So let's talk a little bit about the health of this team. So Sam, we saw Engel go out, in the second half. Is the 2-week window enough for him to return? I think he's been dealing with this chronic pain thing. So we'll see. I think if he can maybe get back to at least training by the end of this week, that would be a huge sign for us because honestly, Engel is a key player in the back line for this team.
Yeah, I think you go real slow with guys like him and Miazga. And you really just let them go at their own pace. How are you feeling day to day, right? Because once again, it sucks that we have this international break, but for the health of our depth, not too bad, especially when you really want to be full strength, not only against Miami, but the rest of the playoffs as well. So, yeah, I think Engel, I could see being able to play in the Miami game. Once again, this dude was willing to die with his boots on, right? So he's playing, like you said, one of the greatest players of all time. Who wouldn't want to play up against that? But yeah, Ryan, I think the other guy too, right? Miazga. Does he get a huge talking point? Is he ready? Right. I know that'll be a very big talking point in our preview next episode. Tune in for that. But
can we update everyone? So Matt's been off to the side, but he's been in training. He just hasn't been with the full group all the way yet.
Yeah.
So
no like 7v7, no 11v11.
He
like
had a setback already.
Yeah.
In his return. So are they going to take it slow? I absolutely expect them to. But do I see him being available? I honestly, I feel like Matt might be available, but he's not going to start. I think he's going to be a sub.
And that's tough. That's tough for a guy like Matt Miazga because he wants to be out there. He wants to be out there so bad, right? Like if you're going to put me in the 18, you might as well start me, right? Like that's his mentality, right?
He was our captain for the whole season prior to him getting injured. I mean, he's dying to get out there.
We'll see. And then obviously we'll touch on more, but the Obi being able to start over Giddey, right? Like which one do you want? Do you want more athleticism? Do you want more defense, right? The dog that Obi is. However, Samuel Giddey played phenomenal in this series for his age, for a newcomer to the MLS.
You might see, I just thought of this, but like if Busquets plays in the midfield and you have Giddey that can run around,
that
might be an advantage there. I think Buka doesn't back down to anyone, and I'm really looking forward to, again, just how one of those two players can really just find DePaul, find Messi, and just follow them and just be able to negate what they have to offer. They like to play their wingers pretty high, so the matchup, out wide, if our guys are way up, will be interesting too. But yeah, Sam, you had a thought.
Yeah, so Kubo will also be available again.
True.
Right. So that's another player that you have available to be able to have that versatility. Do you use him as on the wings, right? If Engel's not able to go, like how do we work that out? Is Orshano 100%? All factors as well. But as far as Miami, Ryan, I know you had the card that was Miami and the flopping and everything like that. Why don't you walk the people through what happened with Suarez and, after the game against Nashville? Because if anybody didn't know, Suarez was out against Nashville because of some disciplinary reasons. He kicked a guy in the game prior. So it was a whole thing. But Ryan, what did he tweet out?
The dirtiest player in world football ever. So they win this match and he does the little waving hand emoji to the Nashville Twitter handle after they did a waving sign to their own player, in a photo. So petty, just super petty. And for a guy that didn't even play in the third game because he got suspended. So you have no reason to talk, dude. Already, we saw what he did earlier this season. They got him suspended in Leagues Cup, after the final.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't fall into his antics in this game. Don't do it, when we play them, because he's going to be back. He's going to be available. And I hope his knees are banged up enough that he cannot contribute in a meaningful way. He's a great player historically, but we need to be able to stay out of all of that because they're going to play a whole bunch of mind games and all of that with us. So maybe Matt Miazga is a good person to have back for that.
Maybe be able to negate it.
Yeah. But like we said, we'll give you guys a full preview of this match as we get a little bit closer. We'll give you a little bit more clarity on who will be available and who will not. Hopefully we'll have our full setup because I would just love to see punch for punch these guys go at it. And for us to win at home would just be special. And could be the last time we see this team at home this season because of the results elsewhere. So it'll be interesting to see. But let me give you guys our trivia question and answer before we go here. So again, trivia question of the week was, when is the last time that FC Cincinnati won a match after conceding first? Sam had locked in June of this season against Orlando. It's not correct, unfortunately,
Not even
Sam.
close.
It was March 29th, and this was against Nashville, actually. We were down, came back, and we ended up winning this one 2-1. Kind of crazy, though. The last time that we've actually won a match when conceding first at home, August 5th of 2024, and this was against NYC in Leagues Cup.
Oh, yeah.
4-2. So kind of crazy to see. The last time at home, though, was that way. But obviously, we pulled it out in this one against the Crew this week. And again, we could not be more excited for the fact that our team is moving on in the MLS Cup playoffs. Follow along again wherever you find your podcasts, and we'll be with you guys next week. Thanks again for joining us tonight.